election politics in Goa to battlefield of defense production. I think these are probably, there are a lot of similarities in political battlefields and defense production. You get very rare opportunities in both of them. Defense is a very strange subject. A lot of people ask me, Make in India was a concept expressed by Government of India almost 2 years back. When is it that Make in India in defense will take off? I'd like to point out that defense is an area where what you start today probably yield you result after 3 years. And I'm also quite happy to say that after a lot of efforts, we for the first time have during current year, financial year, already published our new defense procurement procedures, in which the most important type of procurement is basically indigenously developed, designed, developed and manufactured. That is IDDM variety, so that any product which is designed in India, you cannot buy it from import or from any other source. You have to compulsorily procure this product for defense purpose from the Indian company which has designed it, developed it and manufactured it. This is, I think, huge mindset difference between the earlier defense procurement procedures and the current one. Of course, when these new DPP were published, during the current year, 95% of the acceptance of necessary AON, that means clearance for procurement, are either IDDM, which forms 62%, or Make in India, the Buy Indian. That means virtually 95% of almost 96,000 crores of product for which this year we have given approvals. Of course, the process will start now. Belongs to these two categories. That shows the importance of change in mindset in the procurement procedure. Now, these are for capital procurement. Of course, the procurement by Ordnance Factory Board and procurement by Defense PSU needs these aspects which should be brought into the system very soon. I would also welcome many of the companies which have shown interest in aerospace for manufacturing. In fact, India has become one of the important key destination for sourcing aerospace requirement. With signing of Chinook and Apache, the Boeing has already started a unit in near Hyderabad, where the fuselage for Apache's Chinooks are being manufactured and exported from India. This is a unique facility where high-end technology in carbon fiber and manufacturing can be seen, and very soon we expect it to basically go into the production. Various other initiatives have been taken for ensuring that Make in India becomes a success. Defense production is a very strange type of business. If you start a car manufacturing and your product is sold across India, by offering good price and a better quality product, probably you can sell your car to number of consumers. Defense is the only place where the consumer is only one, and that too Government of India and Defense, Department of Defense. One consumer has his own problems. If you don't keep the consumer happy, and when I say happy, doesn't mean the wrong way. I am talking about keeping the consumer happy in the right way. Give us a product which would ensure that the capabilities and modernization of armed forces proceed further, and you can definitely have the orders. But if you, after spending a lot of money and investing a lot of money, you don't get a approval or node of consumer, then all that money go down the drain. This is a strange type of situation where which is first, whether you invest first or whether the orders are first. Obviously, a situation where indigenous industry takes much longer to develop. You should have a very deep pocket, probably pocket with hole also. As many have realized, I know companies which have put in 200, 300, 400 crores and probably are waiting for orders. And I am pleased to say that many of these orders where companies had invested are almost either are being contracted or are about to be finalized. So you will see a lot of improvement in this. We have relaxed the licensing procedures. Offsets are piling up at a very fast pace. There is almost more than I think 8 billion, right? 8 billion, and I expect it very soon to touch 10 to 12 billion dollars in next 10 years. Last 2 years, for the first time since offset started, the department was successful in ensuring that 100% targeted offsets are achieved. This is one of the most important aspects. Number of licenses issued are huge in this, of which 20 licenses are in Gujarat. And Gujarat, with its innovative and ease of business and a very progressive look forward approach, I think can become a very important hub for defense production. Of course, there are demands that I put in some facility from Government of India. We can definitely discuss on it. There are variety of products being developed by HAL, and I think Gujarat government can, if they are interested in aerospace technology, while there will be opportunities for private sector in joint venture with various companies to start manufacturing fighters, helicopters in near future. There is also lot of production that is going to go through the Hindustan Aeronautics or a public sector unit. We have successfully tested, certified light combat helicopter whose requirement is quite huge. The all utility helicopter has finally successfully test flown. It took a lot of years to get it off the ground. Every time I went anywhere, I saw a model kept on the ground with the things rotating but not taking off the ground. So finally I asked them, you give me a time schedule. They gave me a time schedule, and I am happy to say that a PSU ensured that the time schedule is met. They have successfully flown this. We have developed a trainer for pilots. Basic model in 1 year short period. The young team at HAL took up the challenge from a design to actual flying. It took exactly 14 months, and I'm very pleased to say that this is an achievement, because everything went as per the schedule, and this time schedule was, I expect them to start manufacturing this in maybe another 1.5 years after all certifications are obtained. So there is an opportunity for number of products which HAL itself can produce. One aspect which I realized about PSUs, which I will like to share. What is the difference between a PSU? It's not the brain power. It is the commercial mindset which differs. When I became Raksha Mantri, I realized that Su-30, the main fighter of Indian Air Force, has a service availability of for as low as 46%. The helicopter fleet of Indian Army and Air Force supplied through HAL had a serviceability of somewhere around 50%. It is too low. For an international standard, 70-75% is the minimum one expects, and sometimes you can achieve even 80% plus. Because making one fighter available more saves you cost of that buying a new fighter. You have 300 fighters and only 150 or 140 are capable of taking on the task. I think you are not battle ready. We decided to improve this. And the biggest problem which I faced was after sales service. The defense PSU considered after sales service as an expense and not an investment. Virtually convincing them into setting up of after sales service units at various army locations took us almost a year, and finally when the board agreed and we set up that unit, today I am happy to say that Su-30 has already achieved around 60% of availability, and the helicopter fleet is more than 65% today. So that's an achievement simply by investing probably around 400 crores. Customer satisfaction is so much that in the first 1 year I was having complaints from army on an everyday basis that today this problem happened, we don't have enough choppers, we don't have enough fighters for proper training. Today hardly any complaint comes. So it's basically a mindset which requires a change, and I am very, very happy, slowly but surely. That slowly I would be very happy to get it very fast, but it takes time to get through the juggernaut of government bureaucracy. And the PSUs also most of the time have become bureaucratic, just like what we faced in DOD. I could have understood DOD doing that, but a PSU or a company also becoming something like that was a strange for me. But slowly that mindset is changing, and that result could be seen in that basic trainer which was developed in 14 months. I think there are many more potential aspects. India, after more than 30 years, has successfully developed its own gun. No new artillery gun was introduced for 30 years in the army, artillery unit of the army. For the first time, you have successfully developed and tested. Field trial has been completed for Dhanush, which is 155 by 45 howitzer. Another self-propelled gun, 155 by 52 caliber, is in the final stage of being ordered. This is a joint venture between Larsen & Toubro and Samsung of Korea, which has more than 50% of the components which are made in India. The first lot probably will be ordered during the current financial year, and this is one of the Make in India project which I hope it's a beautiful gun. I have seen it, though I have not seen it operational. I didn't want to, because in artillery when you function there for a very long time, you have to be very carefully which side of the head you are addressing the artilleryman. I hope the Gujaratis are quite humor oriented and they don't take it on the wrong side, because with the blast you tend to lose your capacity to hear. Of course, some people can hear few items but don't hear other things. That's a strange phenomenon which I am observing, but I am very sure that with the kind of policies Government of India, where we have gone one step ahead of Make in India. It's not only Make in India, it is designed, developed and Make in India. So it's one step ahead of the Make in India, which I hope will ensure. I'm very sure that Gujarat has a proposal on setting up of a defense estate. We can work on this. In fact, I had promised Chief Minister I would come with some suggestions this time. But I'm very sorry the election commission came between us. They suddenly declared the election and Goa was in the first phase. I had to virtually run because there was hardly any time even to finalize candidates and the process. But I would definitely come once this 4th February deadline meets. I can also tell you that there is a lot of potential for export. For the first time, ordnance items have been identified for private sector manufacturing, and we are in the process of finalizing the items as well as terms and conditions of this RFP. RFI has already been floated. Extensive interaction with industry has taken place. India does need ordnance factory boards because in defense sometimes you have to keep capacities idle only on condition that you have to suddenly ramp it up. You can't guarantee. That's very difficult task for a private sector to be kept holding because the interest, payment of the interest becomes a problem. So there is of course requirements ordnance factory, but there are a lot of items we are importing and a lot of items which have a potential. I'll give you only one or two examples. I don't know, there is one WhatsApp message or some social media message going on about some boots to be used in ice, snow, where it was indicated that boots were manufactured in India, exported to some other country and then back imported into India. Probably that might have happened because in offset we don't permit, we were not permitting. Now I think we have corrected that. To export, and the export only was counted for offset purpose. Now deemed export is also probably certified deemed export could be considered for the offset purpose. Not sure whether it was that or whether it was something else or whether it was lack of confidence in Indian product. But I can tell you, number of cases, we are on the process of finalizing a contract for 196 crores for which 5 years back for the same product, same quantity, probably a product which was less developed, we were paying about 1086 crores. There can be that kind of saving to the country. Obviously the Indian products can be that cheap to the international consumers. And export is one area where you can generate an additional consumer besides Ministry of Defense. The exports have grown 3-4 times, but that is not adequate. There were a lot of restriction on export because most of the products are being manufactured by defense PSUs and exports, and there is a strange mindset. For example, the Akash export, there was a thinking that how can we give our technology to third country? And in a very lighter way, I told them, as long as the country is beyond the range of the missile, and it is not an enemy country, I don't think there is any need for us to worry about it. If technology can be reversed engineered so easily, we can probably make the next generation. By the time we export in the country, so wherever we export, they reverse engineer it. We can go for the next generation. And I'm very happy if Christopher can confirm that the Pinaka is a Shiva Dhanusha, which is basically a rocket fired as an area destruction weapon, and which can virtually decimate a kilometer, 900 meter by 900 meter area, which had a range of about 30 kilometers. We have already today successfully test fired guided Pinaka for 60 kilometers, 65 kilometers. Today only we have succeeded in doing that. That gives a tremendous boost to the capability of armed forces once it goes in production. So why do we need to basically get worried about technology being reverse engineered? It's not an easy task. A person who can reverse engineer probably can also engineer it himself. The capability in a high-end technology to reverse engineer itself shows that you have enough capabilities to do the engineering aspect of it. Maybe it takes the cost slightly more. So it's basically an area where we can grow multifold for the export, and the approval timing in the export NOC has come down probably below to 30 days. No, 27 days. 70% of the export NOCs are being issued in 15 days, and online application. Compare this with case studies where export NOCs were not issued for 6 months, 1 year. I know a company which lost orders and was blacklisted by a foreigner because it didn't have it could not get an NOC for an export of helmets, bulletproof helmets and bulletproof jackets. And I had to step in to ensure that they get NOC immediately for some minor violation which had nothing to do with Ministry of Defence directly, because this was an export to third country. We were not buying, but we were holding the NOC for some trivial reason. I think we need to go for few steps further, and these few steps further possibly would come through a very strategic chapter in DPP, that is strategic partner, which we expect to come out very soon. That will be a game changer for big time manufacturing and make in India, and I expect it to be operational very soon. I congratulate Gujarat government, the Chief Minister of Gujarat, for this very, in real term, vibrant summit. This is something which probably I knew Gujaratis to be very entrepreneur, but I see the upper end of business acumen, and I hope this summit results into some sort of a activity in defense aerospace within the next time when you, and I'm very sure you will be there on the chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Raksha Mantri ji. Now I would like to request Shri Vijay Bhai Rupani ji, Honorable Chief Minister